Hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at a knife by Schrade. This is the SCHF40LD. They're calling it a 3/4 tang, and yet you've got steel on the end, and you've got steel all the way through, and a magnet that sticks the whole way along. But this is two different pieces of steel right here. So we're going to see details on how that works. People are avoiding this knife because they're finding out that it's not a full tang knife. I'm here to tell you, watch this video and see why I believe that it's not an issue for this knife at all. You've got plastic over mold, softer plastic over mold, a harder plastic inner mold that holds everything together and has screws that hold stuff together. Steel pommel with a nice pointy end. You can really do some damage, break up some things if you need to break things up. If you're out camping and you just want to break up your block of ice, you can do that with this, whatever you want to break up. And then we've got a hollow ground blade, a little bit of a drop point, swedge right there, mosquitoes. I don't like calling it a blade groove. What's the technical word for it? Whatever. Flat, square spine. There's a powder coating painted onto here. And this knife has got two holes up here and a hole down here. So if you're so inclined, you can strap this onto a piece of wood and turn it into a spear of sorts, although it doesn't really have a spear style tip to it. And I'll tell you why I think that's kind of silly later on in the video. But in the hand, this thing feels really, really good. I've got large size hands right on the border of extra large in North American sizes, and look how much extra room there is here. A whole sixth finger you can get in here. So people with extra large hands are going to find this thing okay. So I'm between 9 and 10 in the European sizes, and I find this hollow grind knife to be quite good. It's about an 8-inch blade, not quite 7 3/4, something like that. I'll give you the actual specs later on in the video. A nice thick spine, good weight to it, and this sheath, I like this sheath a lot for a number of different reasons. First, it uses snaps instead of Velcro most of the places. And the blade can go into the sheath this way or this way. Either way, perfect. So right and left ambidextrous without you having to change a thing. That's a good thing. The retention's quite good with this clip to grab onto the top of the blade there, top of the handle, I should say. And what we have in the rest of this is you've got all kinds of choices. You can wear it through the belt loop there. You could use this as a part of a loop. You've got all kinds of holes along here for molly to attach it. You can take the entire plastic section off and strap it onto a bag or something. So many different ways to carry this thing. And this sheath system is very well designed, well thought through, well designed. One thing I will say is that this plastic overmold on the sheath here, it tends to show marks very quickly. So if you put this in a hard bag or something, throw it in the back of your truck, and it starts rattling around, it's going to show marks really quickly. But now I'm getting into the meat of the review, so let's wait for that. Why don't you stick around for the full review of the SCHF40LD, the big brother of the SCHF40. So this coyote brown tan overmolding, that's the TP stuff, that comes off. And on the inside, we've got hard plastic. And there's some screws to take it apart. So I'm going to take those screws out. Remember, Schrade calls this a 3/4 tang. I ran my magnet down that handle and it stuck all the way down. All right, so now let's try to pry this off. Well, that's still on there pretty tight. I'm going to go back to my shop and I'm going to pry these loose and I'll show you what I find inside. Actually, I didn't need to go back to the shop. I just took my screwdriver, pinched in there, and it starts lifting off. There we go. So now you can see exactly how this thing's built. And that's why my magnet's stuck all the way along. And that's why they're calling it a 3/4 tang. And then that piece goes right there. And you got just over 1/4 inch of space between these two parts. And that's why you can just reef on this pommel and it doesn't hurt the knife at all. Because it sits inside there. You got lots of room in there. Very strong. Very good. Now all I need to do is find a way to put a new handle on here. Because that edge is still a really nice knife. And I just need to put a different handle on it, and she's good to go. And I don't think you can see the whole thing, but there you go. Hangs from the belt like that. No problem. Undo the snap, take it out. Let's start with some batoning. We got Spruce right here. Hey, Mr. Spruce. Let's see you get split in half. No problems. Easy, easy, easy. I'll do some more of that out in the mountains. Let's see if it can make a feather stick. Not going to spend a lot of time, but yep, no problem. Does it strike a ferro rod? Well, that worked really good. The part I was using was right here on the corner, right where the right there in the corner where the plunge line meets the ricasso. That's where I was scraping on. So no problem. It can throw sparks. On the back here, I think I'd have to take some of this powder coat off before I can throw sparks really well that way. What else do you want to see, huh? Let's pretend there's a branch and we're just going to start whacking at it. And the chips go flying. My aim is just terrible, but I'm having fun. That's what a knife like this is for. You got two groups of people. You can use this for actual survival tasks in a real, life and death survival situation. That happens less than 1% of the time. And then 99% of the time, it's for goofing off with, playing, having fun. Ta-da! Got through. I see absolutely no damage at all on it. And these glasses actually give me really high visibility. I can see it very, very clearly. There's no damage on this blade at all yet. You can go through just about anything you want. Just about all the way through. Look at that. That hit the inside of my soffit on the tip of my roof right there. That's about 20 feet that way. Fun. Talk about fun. And yep, no damage on the blade yet. I like this knife. Don't know how well it's going to show up on the video, but you know, check out those holes in the wood. I need to give you all the dimensions and weights for this guy. So what do we have here? Let's talk about the sheath first. The sheath length and weight. I like this sheath. It's a very component-based sheath. You can just take these 3 straps off, and there's another one at the back there, but let's just show you these. Undo those, and look, it comes apart. And you get a secret in here too. You know what the secret is? I'll show you. It's a secret that isn't in a lot of videos, to be honest with you. I don't know why people don't take their stuff apart to look in their videos. You take this MOLLE adaptable part off. Just toss that over here. And you've got a stone, a nice wet stone for sharpening back here. So if you need to touch up your edge, you've got a stone for that right here in the main sheath. You can use your own system to just strap this onto something if you want to. Loads of different options. And as I said earlier, the sheath hold is ambidextrous. You can have the blade either way. Holds really, really well. Not falling out. Hear a little bit of a rattle, but you know, it's in there secure. Good sheath. And you want the weights and dimensions? Okay, let's talk about the sizes of everything. First, cutting edge, entire length, thickness of edge behind the grind, grip area, weight. I like this knife quite a lot. We're going to go through some other shots and use this even more, but first I'll just give you a little bit of a panoramic shot of the environment that we have right here, right now, that we get to play with this knife in. Check this out, guys. If you're ever coming to Canada, come to Alberta, come to Jasper, and enjoy the Canadian Rockies. This is one of the kind of bland, mediocre views that you'll find. There's a whole lot better. But this is right around Pocahontas Campground, the northeast entrance of the park. The various grips on this knife, you know, you can grip it, you know, all your basic ways for, you know, sort of a stabbing or a backhand stab, cut. And, you know, all your basics holds, saber grip, fist. You know, it's a good knife with a decent handle. The only thing I will say is any men with small hands, if you're in the small category, this will not be good for you. You're going to find this too large. Medium, I'm not so sure. Since I'm on the large end, you know, the largest end of large, close to extra large, I'm not sure how people with medium hands are going to handle this. If I can find one before I air this, you know, I'll ask him to grab it and, you know, see what he thinks. But otherwise, large, extra large, really good grip, nice knife. And I'm actually a bit surprised. I don't prefer hollow grinds on outdoor knives. This hollow grind is doing quite well, and that's because the thickness behind the grind, which I forgot to mention before, thickness behind the grind, because of the thickness of the steel behind this grind being, you know, I think it feels like a little over a millimeter. It's heavy enough that it's actually usable. I like this guy an awful lot. The sheath is extraordinarily useful, very handy, comfortable to use, So many options with this Molly. You know, this is a knife that I'm keeping forever and a day. So we've got a dead piece of, I think it's spruce right here, and my SCHF40LD. Let's see what it takes to maybe get through it, maybe not. I don't know, we'll decide partway through. Yeah, it's spruce. It's got a lot of sticky, sappy stuff in it. Let's turn it this way. Here we go, right up here. My aim is way off, isn't it? Don't judge my style. We're here to judge the knife. My style sucks. One thing other than the chopping that I must say is I'm surprised by how comfortable this is in the hand. I thought it was going to be uncomfortable. You know, you see all these edges? No, not bad. You can, because you got this swelling back here, you can grab at the back. If your pinky's not too strong, you know, even leave your pinky over and use your other fingers. And then you get more reach. Or you can choke up a little bit. And it's comfortable both ways. Of course, if you're choking up, you got a little less power behind your swing. Now, if I wasn't doing a test, I'd push this through already and just break it, because I always try to tell people, conserve your edge as long as you can, and don't use it unless you have to use it. So on something like this, if I was out in the bush, you know, just camping, doing my own thing, just bend it until it breaks now, or take another log and whack at it and break it. Save your edge. But since we're testing the edge, I'm going to keep chopping. I think I'm missing with as many swings as I'm hitting at the spot I want anyways. Yeah, I'm not getting the spot I want most of the time. This is suddenly going to want to fall on me. No, it'll swing away. I think it's caught in that tree up there. Ta-da! There you go. Now let's check the edge. This is a factory edge. Visually, it looks great. No defects. Feels good all the way along. Nail nick test feels good. For those of you who don't know, the nail nick test is you take an edge, you put it on your nail, and you push away. Since my hand's this way, I'm pushing away from my thumb just slightly. And if the edge catches, it's pretty sharp. Don't push too hard because you can always nick the end of your finger. Not bad. It's holding that edge really well. Left little nick marks on my nail. Not bad. It behaved the way it should. I like this. It's working quite well for me. Remember, guys, if you're looking for a knife like this, check out Schrade. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, all that other good stuff. And remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb.